Good morning, class. My name is Alex. This is the American Culture Reaction video for COM 263. Wanted to talk a little bit about the article that we had read here about Nacirema, the body ritual among the Nacirema. So what I got out of that reaction I got out of that video, or the article I should say, was more along the lines of the way that old-time Americans used to deal with healing and such. Looks like we had a lot of these folks that would walk around calling themselves a medicine man, who would, just spur up a bunch of medicines in terms of oils, natural remedies, and such things, and people would embrace that, and they would have shrines in their homes, as positive healing and such, and they would dive into this type of healing process, because at the time medicine was still very early. There wasn't a lot of research, there wasn't a lot of doctors, scientists per se like we have nowadays, and so the depiction in the time of the American culture seemed to be more along the lines of true faith. Having faith into something, not knowing exactly what it's about, not knowing if, the facts and science behind it. They just simply had faith that these medicine men had the ability to heal them through their means. And I also wanted to talk about how that pattern, the practice and the ritual on our culture, me being a Mexican American myself, I was born in Mexico, brought here to the States as a young kid, about 1 year old. Not too long ago did I become an American citizen. Probably, I want to say within the last 4 years, I became an American citizen, which is great. So I have a lot of these similar cultures in my culture, being Hispanic. One of the things that I read about too a little bit ago by author Lauren Calkin, she wrote a article, Meet Mexico's Curandero Healers Keeping Indigenous Culture Alive. So what a curandero is in my culture is it's a group of folks, and they don't have any kind of college. Say you didn't go to college for this or a university for this. You just simply do similar means of healing. And I myself have been a witness, and I've experienced this type of healing where as a little boy, I recall I just was not eating well. I was very skinny, was just not eating at all. I was probably about 7, 8 years old. And I was a very, very skinny boy. We had gone to the doctors here in America back in the late 90s. I was born in 91, so this must have been around 98, 99. And there just wasn't a true solution. They would give me vitamins, they would give me other things to try and, make me hungry, and nothing would work. So what we ended up doing, we went to a curandera that was out here in the valley, and she performed this kind of like a ritual healing thing. So I laid on the ground, and she had some oils where she just gave me a full body massage, and it hurt. I remember it hurting pretty bad. And then she broke some oils, other oils too, and just was, lighting some or burning some incense. And the thing that was interesting was she had eggs, and eggs is a big thing. One of the things here in the article that Lauren writes, she writes that one of the methods that they use is oils. Here it's quoted here: they often solve these maladies through the careful use of spiritual cleansing, essential oils, herbs, incense, eggs, and even just good old-fashioned prayer. And that was exactly what was used that day to try and heal my issue with not eating. And long and behold, shortly after that, I started eating a little bit more. And I'm 29 years now, and I have a pretty big belly thanks to that, I'd say. So that was interesting. But I would say throughout history, how has that changed? The pattern, the practices, the rituals, how has it changed throughout history? In my opinion, I would say it has changed because nowadays we have technology. We have the ability to look up information online, which could be both good and scary, both good and bad. We have a lot of people who decide to WebMD and just Google the slightest symptoms that could potentially, be not as bad. You got a bump on your face, and you could potentially read something that it's along the lines of cancer when all it was a simple bug bite. So we have technology that allows us to educate ourselves in the medicines we're taking, the risks, the dangers. So we truly live in an age where we can be a little bit more sophisticated in terms of how we go about the measures of healing. And we could even question the doctors at times too. Of course, they are experts and such, and I highly don't recommend doing so, but I've known a few folks that have done so. They go to the doctor, they get their diagnosis, come back home, do a little bit of their own research, and make the determination for themselves on what they think is going to be best. Where back in the day, all you had was a doctor's referrals, or all you had was a doctor's advice, and therefore you would just abide by what the doctor would say. So I feel that I don't think it was detrimental in terms of it being bad, the changes that have happened throughout history with this type of these types of activities. I think it's good that we're in an age where we can truly look up for ourselves what's best for us, the medicines, ways to heal. Of course, there's tons of natural remedies of healing and such. So I definitely, I would sigh on the side that this is good. This is a good thing. So thank you very much, class.